The following is rated S for spoilers.
Spider-Man. He has the powers of a spider.
Hence the name.
Gross. Does he look like a spider?
No, more like a man.
Climbs walls, shoots webs.
Yeah, bingo.
Out of his butt?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I hope not.
Super weird.
Hello and welcome to the Popcorn Hangover. My name is Alex.
My name is Graham.
Today we are talking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That is a tongue twister.
Dude, what a movie.
It is so long. Not only are we talking about Multiverse of Madness today, but we are also discussing Marvel's new problem. Not with just this movie, but with all of with the direction that they seem to be going in.
Yeah, their future.
It's going to be an interesting discussion. Graham, how you doing this week?
Doing good, buddy. Man, it's been a week.
It has been a week.
It's a fun weekend, too, leading up to this, man.
Yeah, so we haven't talked since the first time we saw
the
it.
movie, right.
I've seen it 3 times total.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah. So it's been a couple days. We have some thoughts, and this is a big movie.
Yeah, it's huge. Oh my goodness.
And one of the problems with going to these Marvel movies, especially these Marvel movies, is when I first see it, like especially something like this, just a second spoiler warning, because people always get mad at me for not saying spoilers, even though we open the show with a spoiler warning. Yeah. We are not holding back. So go see this movie before you watch the episode if you care about spoilers.
Yeah, save this, download this, do whatever you need to do. Come back to it after you've gone to see the movie, and then you'll be caught up.
Just open up on Spotify, turn the volume on Spotify all the way down so you get the listen, and then just come back to it later. So
dude,
then,
easy dub. Yeah.
So one of the problems like with these movies is I get, you come off and it's like a very strong emotional high.
Dude, yeah.
Like just from seeing
everything we got to see.
All of the madness.
Everything they gave to the madness, 100,000%.
So we're just going to take a quick second right here at the top of the show to shout out our brand new Patreon page.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/thepopcornhangover. It's super easy to get to. On there, we have several different tiers, and things you can do if you want to support the show. But one of the big things I'm excited for is our new bonus show called The Parking Lot Talk.
Dude, that's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so much fun. We recorded our debut episode right after we got out of the theater opening night.
Yeah.
And we have a quick clip to show you, to give you an idea of
kind of get you hype.
Yeah, what the show is like and kind of our initial reactions. So let's roll that. Hello and welcome to the Parking Lot Talk, the show where we give our instant reactions to things we just saw. We are outside the theater. We just saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness premiere in IMAX. Much better seats this time if you listen to our Batman episode. Wow, what a movie. There is so much going on, so much to talk about. I don't know, I'm still on that high, so I feel like I need to see it a few more times before I can give like a real critical reaction. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm here with a large group of people. Let's go over to Graham. Graham, what were your thoughts on Multiverse of Madness?
Dude, I really enjoyed it. It gave me everything I asked for, honestly. Like anything I could have expected or wanted, it was there, which was really enjoyable to see on screen for the first time for some things. But dude, there was a lot to unpack. And yeah, I'm going to see this probably 2-3 more times, at least before we sit down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a long discussion beforehand to figure out what we're gonna talk about here because there's so much. Brendan Denesco of Minmo Media. What's going through your head right now?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. The first Doctor Strange was like one of my favorite movies, and I really enjoyed it. And I was a little concerned when I first started hearing about this and what direction they were wanting to go. I was like, I don't know if I was going to get that same Doctor Strange feel, and it still delivers. It really does. I was very impressed that it was still a Doctor Strange movie, even though there were so many pieces going on and like so much moving. But it's definitely worth a watch. Easy, like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, pretty high there.
Yeah, it delivered on all the same Doctor Strange type stuff, but like was still very, very different. Like in a lot of good ways. Micah, what's going through your head right now?
I got to see this at least 3 more times. I already have tickets for tomorrow, so I'm going to have a better answer after the second view, but I'm going to have to see it at least 4 times. I mean, first reaction, it was really great.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack. Hey, Asa, you know the question by now. But you got me very confused. Like, you don't.
No, the ramifications of this movie, pun intended, are huge. I mean, this was a full Raimi effect. It did not follow the MCU typical storyline or their formula, which was great. The Dutch tilt, the camera angles, the eye shots. It was very refreshing to go in and basically not see the typical Marvel movie. And so, is Wanda? Is she gone? No, she's not. I won't stand for that. My queen is coming back.
Yeah. So, like Asa said, you think Wanda's gonna be back?
I have a little theory that I've kind of seen floating around that I kind of think could happen.
Okay. We'll get to it in
I
a
was gonna
second.
say, I was like, I can go into that. I didn't know where we were going if we wanted to, because I got some ideas.
Yeah.
Got some
So,
ideas.
if you want to, that was just a quick, first impressions from a few of us that went and saw it. But if you want to listen to the full episode and all of our thoughts on the movie,
Parking lot talk.
Check out our parking lot talk tier on patreon.com/thepopcornhangover.
Yeah.
So Graham, you've seen it another time.
Yes, sir.
Have your thoughts changed from the first viewing?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah?
They changed a lot. Man, walking out of the movie the first time, I was on that high. Like, you watch it, like, that movie really did give us, it gave me everything I could have expected and wanted to, which was great. I loved that. But, like, going back the second time, the hype kind of wore off a bit, and it was not, it honestly did not feel like the movie I saw the first time. Mm-hmm. And I did not enjoy it that much. Like, I feel like if I went and watched it again now, I don't really have any interest to go see it, unfortunately, again. Like, I could not go for a third time.
Yeah, so I saw it 3 times. And I think, even after my first time, I think I had similar thoughts to what you just described. Like, I was hyped up and excited because of the things that we saw, but I just wasn't satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't know, something just felt off about it. And so I saw it a second time. And I was, like, being very critical and, like, trying to, like, dig into the root of why I felt that way. And this movie definitely has issues that we'll get into. But
For sure.
Third time I saw it, I enjoyed it the most. Like,
Wait, really?
Just knowing what to expect, just with my brain in general, like, I can't just watch a movie anymore and just shut
Enjoy
my
it
brain
kind
off.
of, right.
Yeah, I have to, like, analyze all of, like, the camera angles and the acting choices and why did you play this motif here instead of the other one? Like, that's why we have a podcast, because I can't sit and watch a movie. So, like, by the third time I see something, like, especially with this, like, I saw it 3 times in 3 days. Like, there's 48 hours of just nonstop Multiverse of Madness in my head. So, like, I kind of just thought all of the thoughts. And the third time, I enjoyed it the most. Is this a perfect Marvel movie? Absolutely not.
No.
Is it? I would still place it maybe mid-tier.
I wouldn't say my top 5, but I would say it's probably within the top 10, in my opinion, easy.
Maybe.
Compared to,
This was the 27th Marvel movie?
Yeah, like 34th or 5th content technically.
Project,
with shows, project, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big movie, and so I don't know. Let's just dive into, like, some of the things I really, really liked. Sam Raimi directing this movie.
Did incredible.
Oh my gosh. I loved Scott Derrickson's Doctor Strange. I thought he did a fantastic job. It was like any visual effects editor's, like, dream was, like, to work on that movie. And, like,
he did one of the best jobs introducing a character, especially that character.
Yeah.
Like, I think really anyone could have done. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah. I'd love to see, like, what his initial vision was, because he left due to creative differences, but he was still kept on as an executive producer. So,
oh shoot,
how much the story changed?
Yeah.
Like, they would have probably had a script already when Sam Raimi didn't come until late into pre-production, so a lot of it probably stayed the same. But, like, just seeing, like, the ramp, as Asa said in that parking lot talk clip, the ramifications of that movie, like, just the way that he did everything. This was so different than any MCU movie that we've gotten so far.
Dude, they pulled out all the stops plus more. I mean, I really feel like anything in a certain way, like in a certain degree, like whatever was brought up was like greenlit. Like I feel like they had, or at least they probably had that train of thought on like they really could do. They did a lot. I mean, I feel like they did kind of whatever they wanted, which was great.
Yeah, to an extent. But that also might be a problem, which we'll get into later in the episode. But seeing Raimi just do Raimi things, I'm worried. I mean, I don't know. Just go over some numbers really quick. Some info that we didn't talk about before. Directed by Sam Raimi. It was written by Michael Waldron, who also wrote Loki, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, and Chantal Gomez. Had an estimated budget about $200 million. And its opening weekend domestically, it made 185, and it's estimated 450 million worldwide.
Dude, that's insane.
It's crazy.
Didn't this movie have like one of like the largest like ticket pre-sales ever?
I don't know about that. I didn't see that.
Okay,
I don't know.
Something like that somewhere.
But it's the 7th highest MCU movie opening weekend. So not too bad.
No, not at all.
In terms of reception, Rotten Tomatoes has a 75% critic score and an 87% audience score. IMDb gave it a 7.5, and it has a Metascore of 61. So
that's crazy.
So overall, I mean, it's still
yeah,
a good movie, I would say. Just
but it's like, I honestly hate using this phrase, but I feel like it fits really well. Especially after seeing it the second time, the movie's pretty mid, and like I feel like it was received like in that same explanation. I guess I'm just trying to think of like lack of better words. Like it wasn't like one of the greatest. I wouldn't rank this movie as one of the greatest, but it was. Yeah,
and it's not supposed to be.
No, exactly. But that's also kind of what leads me up to this, and we'll probably dig deeper into this too. But like, what was it? Like, I know it gave us a lot, and it showed us what they can now do, but they didn't really do much else than that. I mean, I feel like it was just like if I watch this movie again, I'm just like, yeah, like weird flex, but okay. Like you showed me everything you have, sick. Now what? Like, and I feel like that's kind of one of the problems they're going to run into is like. How big are you going to go? How much bigger can you get? Like, you just unlocked the multiverse, bro. Like, what else? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm...
Yeah. There's a lot of things going into it. I think this movie was super fast-paced, which I think was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
There was not a dull moment. It was super quick. Danny Elfman's score... Oh my gosh, it was
so well done.
It was really, really well done.
Yeah.
I wish we could have gotten more of Michael Giacchino's original Doctor Strange motif. We got a little bit at the beginning, and we got like an adjusted version at the end.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it used more correctly as a motif than just like a subtle reference to an earlier film.
Yeah.
America Chavez was exciting to see on screen. I thought she was kind of lame in this movie.
I thought I kind of was opposite with that. I did not expect to like her as much as I did.
I don't know. She's a likable character.
Yeah.
Like she was a fun, snarky teen.
Right.
My problem with her, and I don't know, here's just kind of the general gist of this movie is I keep trying to get to the positive things and we keep getting cut off by having to talk about the negative. Like
You're right.
I think that sums up this movie so like perfectly. Is it had really, really high highs?
Yeah.
But the low lows you just can't ignore.
No.
So I don't know. Let's just, if we get to a high point, a positive thing, we'll talk about it. But let's just jump straight into some of our problems. One of the biggest problems with this movie is it was just lazy storytelling. Example one, I believe it was Hitchcock. He coined the term the MacGuffin, and the MacGuffin in any story is the thing that you have to get, save, protect. Like it's the thing that is
like
vital
reason.
to the story.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, in Star Wars, it's R2-D2 and the Death Star plans, or in this movie, you have a bajillion of them. And so like America Chavez is a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get America Chavez's power. And that's fine. Like
right.
Endgame has MacGuffin. I mean, That is
Right.
Endgame. It's you have to get all 6 of these MacGuffins, and that's fine. Like MacGuffins are a plot device to be used, but Multiverse of Madness overused them because not only do you have America Chavez, but you also have the Book of Ashanti, which is the most MacGuffin of all time because it's a magic book that gives you whatever you possibly need.
Right.
And then they get it, and it's immediately destroyed. Which, side note, I feel like if there's a super special magic book, it should have a little more,
more
be so
protection.
easily destroyed. Like,
Dude, oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. I kind of liked that idea because, like, also in terms with the Darkhold, that book was gone in 5 seconds. I mean, she stabbed it with a knife, and the thing lit up on fire. Like, what was that? It's a book.
yeah,
But to keep in mind, it's a book. I mean, there's not much else that's going to come with that.
But again, the Darkhold is another MacGuffin.
Right. Yeah.
And not only is it the book a MacGuffin, but also the place where the book was written is also a MacGuffin. But don't forget, there's also another book version of the Darkhold.
That's a good book.
Which is another MacGuffin.
Yeah.
It's just lazy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch some random chase. It reminded me of Rise of Skywalker, where the entire plot of that movie is we have to find the thing, take us to the place, who will help us find the person who will take us to the thing that can destroy the other thing that'll take us to the other place. Like, it's just one
here's the
MacGuffin
thing.
leading to another.
I think the main reason for that is, like, even though it's kind of terrible, like, story writing, if anything, it gives it like a slight structure. And I feel like kind of in a sense makes it a little easier, even though there's a lot there, it makes it a little easier to follow because you have to get this one thing to save this one person to do this one thing who's trying to go from this universe to this universe to this universe to this one. Like that's one thing too. Like we watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't think I had any trouble following along that movie, but if I were to have left and come back for 30 seconds, dude, the movie's done for me. This movie, I don't feel the same way. I really don't. I feel like they had a pretty decent track of like, oh, they're trying to go get one thing. So if I would have left to go to the bathroom for 2 or 3 minutes, come back, I feel like if they were still trying to go after that one thing, I would pick back up from where we were and it wouldn't like throw me off too much, if that kind of makes sense. Like that's the only thing I can think of maybe why they had just another after another after another, because it feels like if anything, they just simplified the.
That's fair. My counter to that, I don't think any person making a movie is designing their movie to allow people to take bathroom breaks.
Well, no, not bathroom. Not bathroom. No,
like,
not bathroom.
I understand what you're saying. But
I
like,
want to say bathroom breaks. I'm just saying, like, think of it for example, our theater. Our theater was terrible, absolute horrible experience. We'll probably go into that too. But there were so many kids in that theater, and there were a lot of parents. Like right next to the group of the 6 of us that were all sitting together, our huge group. There's just this like mom sitting at the end of that. This lady did not probably give a single F about that movie. Her kids were 3 rows in the front. Like, that's cool. Like, she's probably not seen a single movie for her to probably somewhat enjoy it or sit through it. Like I said, it just made it easier to follow. And here's the thing, some people don't know, they're not as deep into like all the MCU they don't track everything the way we do. So like for them to sit through that and probably not try and like be completely lost, I feel like it just kind of helps. Like,
that's fair. I just think that if your story is confusing and is structured around, again, it's not that it's bad structure, it's lazy structure.
Right.
Which for the MCU, I expect something higher. If this was like a Sony Marvel movie, I would be very impressed if this is what we got. But it's an MCU movie, and like I expect more from them. But yeah, you're right. Like it is. I'll give you half credit for that.
Okay.
You've halfway swayed me to your side,
Let's go.
but I still don't like it. The other
I don't either. I'm just saying.
The other fundamental issue with this movie is Wanda, and I didn't realize this was such a controversial opinion. I got into a very long Reddit argument with a lot of people, and like there were people on my side, there were people fighting against me. It was a very entertaining couple of hours going back and forth.
The
with people
amount
on Reddit.
of support I have seen on Wanda's side and take on things. People just don't.
Here's my fundamental issue with Multiverse of Madness, and then that kind of like when you realize it, I feel like it kind of destroys the movie unless you're just like, you know, a Wanda stan and it's like Wanda forever, she can't do anything wrong. Tell me what movie I'm describing to you.
Okay.
So you have Wanda.
Okay.
I like how For our audio listeners, Graham has closed his eyes and is listening very intently.
Trying to think of it, dude.
Okay. So you have Wanda.
Okay.
And she is dealing with a lot of grief. She lost someone very important to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she acts irrationally because she doesn't know how to control her powers yet.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts causing so much damage, all sorts of problems. And at the end of the story, she realizes, wow, like this isn't the right way to do things. I'm the monster. I'm the bad guy here. So then she does her best to redeem herself and to save the day. What project am I talking about? Am I talking about WandaVision or Multiverse of Madness?
Yes.
The correct answer is yes. They're both. It's literally, why do we have WandaVision?
Mm-hmm.
This movie totally negates the whole purpose of that. And
Right.
like people in that Reddit argument were countering with, well, the post-credit scene for WandaVision shows her getting the Darkhold. It's like, I don't know what the Darkhold does. I didn't.
Right.
The fact that I have to do like mind gymnastics to figure out why she's doing the things that she is.
Right.
First off, is dumb. Secondly, we've talked about a lot on the show. Show don't tell. Don't tell me that she's evil all of a
Right.
sudden. Like, this is an Avenger who has gone through lots of terrible things.
Yeah.
Sure. But she redeemed herself and she figured it all out.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, because she's corrupted, like, I'm just supposed to go with you on this. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, they just completely destroyed this character. And they gave her the exact same arc that she already has.
Her show gave her, right?
Yes, and this isn't, I want to make it clear, like, Elizabeth Olsen did a fantastic job, as she always does. Like, there was nothing wrong with the performance. Scarlet Witch in this movie was
outstanding.
insane.
Incredible.
It was so fun to just watch her, like,
just do whatever
unleash.
she wanted. She could literally do anything.
Yeah, so like, don't get me wrong, like, I enjoyed seeing it, but it's a fundamental problem with the story. Like, that this should not have been what the plot was.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was like this had to be what the plot was for whatever is coming next.
I guess
We should have had something in between, like one more Wanda outing where we see that she's experimenting with, more, like, she's crossing the line between what's right and what's wrong, and like stuff like Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. Like, he just goes and like commits war crimes, and they're like, well, I guess he was bad and you're the good guy, so I guess we'll go be okay with it. Like, show her descent back into madness and going crazy. Don't just tell me that everything that I watched her go through in the last one is for nothing.
Literally not at all. Yeah.
So yeah, I think Wanda was just the fundamental issue with this movie, because they want to make her a bad guy, which is also upsetting because Doctor Strange has lots of really cool villains.
Yeah. Especially like for me with that, I would never in a million years thought she would have literally taken the full main place as like the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Like, when you watch the trailers, like, you really do buy a ticket for a totally different movie than you watch the trailer for.
Yeah, like,
which I appreciate. That was fun.
Go back to my earlier point about how like this movie has really high highs and really low lows. Like, that goes even to the marketing. Like, this was a fantastic campaign. Like, they didn't spoil any plot points.
Nothing at all.
Like,
well,
this wasn't
kind of.
But again, back to the low lows. This was a fantastic marketing campaign that got me excited for a movie. I didn't know what it was about. I had no idea what was going to happen. But for some reason, the big headline for this movie they spoiled by telling us that Professor Xavier and the Illuminati and Captain Carter were going to be in the movie. Like, and I don't know, I got a lot of flack because like when they did the first trailer and they had Patrick Stewart's voice saying we should tell him the truth, and they're like, it's Professor X. Yeah. Obviously, I knew it was Professor X, but I was like, we haven't seen Professor X. There's no confirmation. Maybe it's Patrick Stewart's voice. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna wait and watch it. And obviously, I know that what's going on, but like, I want to be surprised and I want to not know. And the fact that they revealed that's who it was, and they revealed the Illuminati, and then for some reason they just randomly showed, oh hey, Captain Carter is in this movie, by the way. I didn't need you. Captain Carter was not a selling point for this movie for anybody
at all whatsoever.
No one was like, please, I am not seeing this movie if Captain Carter is not making an appearance.
That appearance was only in favor for anyone, for the fans, the hardcore fans that watched What If.
Yeah, for the people who even know who Captain Carter is.
Right. I was going to say, to be fair, when that episode dropped, like, Captain Carter got some love. Like, people loved that character from the What If show. And it's like, that's why I'm like, a few people would have known who that was, but like, no one was asking for her live action. Like, no one would have, I mean.
It was just, Just the overarching narrative of this movie, really high highs and really low lows. Speaking to another point, another part of the movie that had very high highs and very low lows.
My dad.
What?
What were you about to say?
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna talk about John Krasinski. Is that what you were talking about? I got so excited for it, dude. I got so excited. I'm not a person. I don't get loud in theaters. I really don't. I don't like people who do get loud in theaters. But dude, I'm gonna go into this. When John Krasinski showed up as Reed Richards, I lost my literal mind.
I was like Thor in Ragnarok when Hulk showed up. Like I screamed,
dude,
yes.
I was so excited. I was literally like clapping. I was so loud.
Our whole theater erupted
Because like I genuinely that was the one thing that I knew. I was like, that's what I want and I'm not gonna get. And I was okay with that going into the movie.
Yeah.
And then they gave it to us and I literally, I lost my mind. Dude, that was the hands down, that was my favorite, hands down best part of the movie in my opinion.
For sure, like the Illuminati scene wasn't like seeing Black Bolt. I mean, I didn't need Captain Carter in live action, but seeing her was like super cool.
Right.
Black Bolt on screen, was not expecting that, or just the way, like going into it, I was worried about like, with the Illuminati, like if they did Black Bolt, like they can't do it because they have to explain who he is, but like they did a really good job at like explaining
like this dude will kill you, and then he was like, I'll kill you.
They did a really good job at like at introducing him. Seeing Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel is a cool, what if scenario. I will say Patrick Stewart in the yellow wheelchair. Let's keep that animated, please. That looked so silly. Dude, it looked so silly. Don't get me wrong. No, it was ridiculous.
It wasn't realistic.
You have all these people in like tight spandex ready to fight, and then you have like this,
homeboy just lounging,
this bright yellow tank just kind of.
I just wanted to see the Lazy Boy logo just slapped on the side of that thing. He's just chilling, just pulls up.
No, but like this, it was a really cool scene. One of my coworkers I saw with the second time through he described it best by saying that was just straight nerd porn. Like,
yeah,
and. One of the reasons I think that is so great is because while that was a very, very high for the movie, why? Why did we have that? Those cameos were completely useless. And I understand that it was there to show that Wanda was super powerful. We saw her completely decimate Kamar-Taj. I know that she's powerful.
My gosh.
B, a general audience isn't going to know who Reed Richards is. They aren't going to know who Black Bolt is. They aren't going to know who Professor X is. That doesn't tell them.
They haven't been given these characters.
Maybe if it were the Hulk, sure. That's someone that I know is super powerful, and to be honest, is more powerful than Mr. Fantastic.
Easy.
Watching Wanda destroy him wasn't impressive because he's a guy who stretches. His superpower is his brain. Like,
you turn that man into string cheese, bro.
It was, like, I don't know. It was just, it was straight nerd porn. Like, it was there to get an applause, and that was all it did.
Yeah.
If that scene wasn't in this movie, it would have been the exact same movie.
Yeah.
So it was unnecessary. That being said, it was a cool fight scene.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was like
watch.
so cool to watch. Like seeing and just how graphic it was without being graphic.
Yeah.
Like
Black honestly, I would say between Black Bolt and honestly, like Captain Carter effed me up. Like when I saw that happen, like here's the thing, you don't see it happen. You just see the shield, you see her like midsection, and then you see her just like with the impact and the hit. But like you don't see any blood. You don't see her body like fall off half and half. Like I was kind of hoping that like you see from like a distance, you'd see her like slide off or something. You don't see that, but dude, I felt so like sick to my stomach, bro. I was just like, wow. Like they really did just cut her in half. Like that was crazy.
Yeah. It was really cool to watch. But one of my problems, and this is a nitpicky thing, and I'll be honest, it's better Disney and Marvel making an improvement on themselves, because this was a very subtle way of doing like a girl power kind of scene.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that like Captain Carter lasted longer than Black Bolt?
Dude, I know.
She's just some like chick with a shield, and Wanda couldn't just like snap her fingers.
Well, to be fair, the smartest man alive was like, hey, that guy with his mouth can kill you. And she was like, what mouth? Like,
okay,
homeboy
that's. I mean, they didn't know what she could do, but like, I don't know. Captain Carter should not have lasted that long. That bothered me. It was like a cool like thing to see her like die that way, but
yeah.
The second thing is like,
it was just her and.
It was just her and Captain Marvel.
Okay, that's what I thought. For some reason,
and here's the other thing:
third one.
Captain Marvel she's going toe to toe with Wanda. Like she's giving Wanda
everything.
Wanda's breaking a sweat.
Everything, yeah.
Captain Marvel gets thrown into a wall and she comes out just fine. She's breaking through parts of the walls that Wanda's throwing up. But you're telling me that like she died because a statue fell on her?
Oh,
and she
I know.
couldn't like stop.
She just couldn't like react in time. She couldn't just like get it up.
Oh,
like,
look, there's a statue following me that's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Oh well. Seriously.
But also, here's the like. That's the thing is that one statue falling. There's no way that was the same force of impact that she had getting thrown across the room into the wall. Like that girl, I mean, she did take like 5 of those impacts. I mean, like, I guess one final blow, like, if it hits you. But like,
I don't know. It was just.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did she just like fly away? Like, it's not like it caught her off guard. Like, we saw the statue fall. We looked at her. She looked at the statue fell. We saw her like, it was like she had plenty of time to like do something. But yeah.
Yeah. It was a little rough.
Yeah.
It was cool, but it was rough. It straight nerd porn. And it had no purpose being there, but
not at all.
I guess it was cool to see.
See that? Yeah. I mean, like they gave like everyone that's what they wanted, and they gave the fans what they wanted and like what they could have expected, which was great. Like it was fun to watch. But you're right. Like the movie didn't change because of it. Mm-hmm. Like the only thing
People talk about like, longer cuts. Sam Raimi said his version was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. This could have been 90 minutes and it would have been the same movie.
100%.
Yeah. So, and don't get me wrong, I did really enjoy this movie, especially the third time around. It's not my favorite, but it was an enjoyable time. I would see it again.
I guess I need to go see it.
I probably wouldn't pay for it again, but I would definitely I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah.
But there's some more things we got to talk about here. The future of the MCU and what this means for the future. Some of the problems that they're going to have that this movie really emphasized. We've hit on it a little bit, but we're going to dive in deep when we come back.
Dude, I'm so glad we're doing this.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a lot of fun, and it's not as difficult as I thought it would be.
No, not at all. Like Anchor has made it especially easy when it comes to like actually getting our podcast out on the air. Because when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on all the listening platforms. So easy getting it over to Spotify, getting it to Apple, wherever you're trying to get your podcast to.
Yeah, I think we're on like 7 platforms just through Anchor, and not even just the distribution, but even just creating the podcast. Like there's so many recording and editing tools within it, so you can record, edit, add music in, sound effects, all sorts of things directly through Anchor, and it is free.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's incredible. So if you would like to start your own podcast, just like ours, go to anchor.fm on your desktop device, or you can go on to your mobile app store and download the Anchor app. And we are back talking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and discussing Marvel's new problem. We had to drive some ways, go to our IMAX theater, and so on the way back, this was like one of the big talking points that we had. Problem number 1 is the multiverse, and problem number 2 are just all of the god tier abilities people in this world. Where do they go from here?
See, I don't even know, man. Like I have been trying to like think like this actually hurts, and I don't know if I just like branded myself stupid or what, if I'm just thinking this in too far. But man, like it really, I don't know. Like they opened literally a door to whatever possibility they want. But you're right. Like, what do they do? Do they bring back characters that are dead and gone because they're somewhere else in another universe? Are we going to see those cameo here and there? Are they going to be like, they named Earths. Like we know like 616.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Like, I know. I get the reference. For those that don't know, the main comic continuity is Earth 616. I feel like this was a golden opportunity to make this like
The
don't know,
MCU is
1892.
Yeah.
And then that way, like, the two universes could collide and they could be separate, but I guess now they're not.
Nope. It's the same. Even though the comics don't follow the movies identically, or the movies don't follow comics identically, but it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, well, let's start with the multiverse. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I love it so far. We've gotten to see lots of different versions of it. It's a cool idea. The problem with it, though, is like,
I feel like this is one of those things where it's like everyone's sitting there like, now what? And then someone's like, I didn't think this far. Like, what do you do?
it's infinite
Like,
possible. In Feige we trust.
100%.
Like 100%. Like,
Man's got the next decade of movies literally in plan right now. Like
he's
this didn't
figuring
lead
it
up to
out.
nothing.
But like,
so that's one. Yeah.
my problem isn't necessarily where do we go next. My problem with the multiverse is if we look at Loki, the stakes are the multiverse. The multiverse is at stake. Spider-Man, the multiverse is at stake. Doctor Strange, the multiverse is at stake. Can we have a movie where
The next 2 years is just everyone.
Can we have a movie where like the stakes are, oh no, like Mary Jane might die, or like at this point, I feel like smaller scale, even like the
Someone's
world is
gonna
going to
nuke
end.
New York.
Isn't
No, like,
the
yeah.
Avengers, the big stakes were there's a nuke going to hit New York. What are we going to do? Like that was their biggest concern.
Not the giant space worm floating through the air. No. It was the one nuke that we had to send back to space. Like,
But it's just I don't know. Can the MCU go backwards?
I don't think so. Because like, especially, obviously here's the thing. If Wanda's gone, sure, we're probably not going to see powers as like high level as hers, probably anytime soon. But still, like, you already see like with like the, I just went brain dead. What's the movie posted? The Eternals. Like you saw those heroes and like their powers and like that we haven't seen like really like matched up compared to like Thor or like Hulk. It's like super strength and like he can fly and he has a hammer. Like he's got super strength, but like that's it. Like we saw like a speedster. We saw like literally just Marvel's Superman. Like we saw like those heroes that have like a way stronger kind of set of skills, I'd say. And like same thing with like the multiverses. They're just opening up like options to other heroes. Same thing with like mutants. Like if we get mutants, like there are some pretty powerful mutants now. Like
Yeah, and it's fine to have more, varying skill sets. That's like I'm okay with. We've always had that. Like Thor and like Cap are, Cap is just a dude, and you have like the Hulk. It's There's always been varying skill sets, and that's fine. But like Wanda, because she has nothing left to lose. Like Wanda is like the only thing that they could do with her character was make her go crazy and destroy everything. Like
that's not true. Could have given she could have just been normal, dude. Remember when she was a kid like 4 years ago, like 5 movies ago?
Remember when she had a Sokovian accent?
Yeah, I know. And now she's just like full on American, dude.
Yeah. But like I don't know. I feel like Marvel is gonna very quickly run into an issue where they just don't have. They're gonna run out of interesting stories to tell. I'm already kind of tired of just. I don't care if the multiverse is at stake. To be honest,
I know.
I've been saying for years I want a Spider-Man movie that's boots on the ground where he's beating up Hammerhead and Fisk and like he's doing like gangster stuff. And I would love to see that from the new trilogy, but how does Spider-Man go from fighting purple aliens in space and villains from other universes to let me go
stop crime because I'm back to being.
Let me go stop this like cat burglar really quick. Like
unless that was the whole point of like making everyone forget who he is. Like he's not going to be really going on big missions as an Avenger.
Maybe
still,
in universe, sure, but from an audience perspective, that's not near. Like
it's not.
You just want more. You want things to get bigger and bigger, and they've gotten as big as they can. How do you get bigger than the multiverse?
I know.
And some would say that it's okay because that's what the comics do, and I think the comics universe, in a comic book format, where you've been telling stories for decades. That makes sense. You need to do that, and that's what you expect from that format. But from a cinema format, it doesn't work quite the same. So multiverse is, I think, a really big problem for the MCU.
Yeah,
that they need to figure out pretty quickly.
Here's the thing, though. That's they already have. They already have. Like I don't see this as like
here's the thing.
a breaking point, or like where they just realize they lost control because they don't know how to come back from this. Like, this is planned. This was planned 10 years ago. Here's
me playing devil's advocate, because I do think you're right. Devil's advocate, though, at this point in phase 1, we were aware that Thanos was a thing and that all of this was building to Thanos.
Yep.
Where's phase 4 going? Where is the next saga going? Because right now we have the multiverse, we have some weird thing going on.
We're not at the
we have some stuff going on with
phase 4 yet.
With the Eternals. We've got.
Are we at the end of phase 4?
We're not at the end of phase 4, but in terms of the number of movies, we are at the exact same point, and we have no idea where the saga is going.
What? How many movies do we have? We have Spider-Man, or no? We have Far From Home, No Way Home.
You have Eternals. You have Shang-Chi. You have Black Widow. You have Doctor Strange.
Damn.
That's 6, and those are only movies.
Bro,
and we have no idea where. We don't know where they're going.
I forgot that
there was 6. A very clear plan, and not every movie needs to be building on. They don't need to all be sequels to each other. Right. Shang-Chi was a totally self-contained story.
And it was so good.
At the end, it had a little teaser of something that might be going on.
Right.
But and that's fine. There doesn't seem to be a very clear direction. They have all these different stories going on, and that's just we haven't even touched on shows.
Right.
Moon Knight was kind of its own thing. When you look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
I guess it's Captain America now. But set up this whole thing with the government's corrupt again. Kind of tired of that as well. But we have all these different layers going on.
Right.
I feel like they're running into a wall. I'm excited to see how Feige pulls a Kool-Aid man and smashes through it. But
I think the big, what they'll do to get through it is Marvel's got their formula, and this was the first movie they did not use that on. To an extent. They used the story structure formula was done very poorly, but it was still there. Yeah. In terms of the way it was made, sure, it was very Raimi. It was very different. Right.
It was close enough to the formula where the formula was recognizable. But yeah, you're right. It is. Okay. It was different for sure. That's one thing I'm curious to see. I mean, opening weekend for a Marvel movie. It's to be expected at this point. Right. I'm curious to see what next week's drop off will be and what, just in general, how it's going to do, because I think that's going to determine if we get more stuff like this. Yeah. That is kind of,
I think we
different and unique. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. Like you said, they made all their money back plus more. That was one weekend.
Yeah, it's one weekend, but yeah, I think it's the long. I mean, people like us. Collectively, we saw it 5 times this weekend. Most people aren't like that.
No, not at all.
To hit $1 billion, you need you need everyone to go and then to go twice. So we'll see how well it does in the box office and if we get something else like that. And we talked about it a little bit, but I think their second major issue are just the god tier villains, not villains, just abilities. I've said it before, the one scene that I just cannot stand in the MCU is in Endgame, where Peter's like, Captain Marvel, how are you going to get through all of them? And then you have Mantis and Shuri and Okoye and these people who literally are just dudes.
Don't do anything.
Or don't worry, we've got her back, guys. We're going to help Captain Marvel. And she's like,
who are you?
She gives them a little pity run, lets them start hitting them before she just flies straight through everybody with no problem. Yeah. Again, they keep going bigger and bigger.
Right.
Who is Sam and Bucky gonna fight?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, they can't do anything against Wanda.
Yeah.
Or even and they were even starting to kind of get in this issue with the end of the Infinity Saga. Black Widow's running at Thanos with tasers.
Right.
Dude has half an Infinity Gauntlet, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna electrocute you." Kind of I'm gonna make you spaz out for a second.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Where do we?
And that's kind of honestly, that's where my point was earlier when I was talking about everything they unlocked, I don't know, because it feels like they are just going bigger and bigger and bigger, especially if we do see like Galactus and like a lot of people's theories of like Doctor Doom coming into play first before we see the Fantastic Four coming into first. And like, he's got powers. Like, he's a pretty powerful character in the comics. Like, he can do a lot of damage. Like, there are going to be superheroes who could compete, but there's also like, what does Bucky do? Like, he's got a metal arm and he's got like the super soldier serum, but like, what, he can't fly. Like, what are you going to do?
At least Falcon can fly, but also like he doesn't have a super soldier serum. So like,
he's literally a man with wings. He can't fly. He's got a shield. Like, he's got a shield. Yes. Okay. You take it away. I'm just saying, like, he throws it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he does. Like,
right. Like, it's just. I think
they can't compete.
This whole discussion is it's worrisome because I love the MCU. I don't want it to end, but it's also exciting because, like we said, like, in Feige we trust. I'm sure there was something going on. I'm sure that there's a plan. Secret Wars is a potential. The problem with Secret Wars is, and I honestly, that's the only that's my solution.
Yeah.
Is Secret Wars. Thanks for making a flawless segment. A flawless segue that you had no idea.
Gotcha, dude. I was going to say, that's not even noted.
But yeah, so like our next topic of discussion is like what's next, and I think it is the only possible way Secret Wars. For those who aren't familiar with what that is, it's a comic storyline where I like how you just pointed to yourself like you're excited for Secret Wars, but you have no idea what it is.
Yeah, no, exactly. I have some idea, but I'm just
see the idea behind the Secret Wars event was all of the multiverse was starting to collide in on itself. So like some of them were just getting completely wiped out, and like in others like they were being displaced, and so like it was called Battle World, and so you had different like sections. So you have like a Spider-Verse world, you had an Ultimate like New York, and you had like all these different things were going on, and it was causing chaos in this world. And so all of these heroes had to like team up with other versions of themselves and like figure out what was going on to try and fix what was going on, what was happening, and to stop Doctor Doom, because Doom was the one who kind of like created all of the chaos. My favorite comic run is the Ultimate Spider-Man run, and so like in that we get Miles Morales, and then that's how Miles goes from Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe, into Earth 616, is because of this event. 1610 was destroyed, and so all these heroes were displaced, and so Miles was one of the ones that was able to get out and was able to join the 616 as a new hero. So that's my only solution to like eliminating the multiverse from the equation, because for the most part, that eliminated a lot. It didn't eliminate the multiverse, but it got rid of lots of them. So I think in terms of the MCU, they could, do another sort of like the one who remains sort of thing where they cut off all the other branches. The problem that I have with this is like, we don't have multiverses really to collide with, other than like, unless they very lazily just say, hey, there's 5 multiverses with these heroes, let's put them together.
Yo, wait. What if this just totally came to mind. Like, what if we just get like a Fantastic Four movie, okay? And it is not in 616's universe whatsoever. And then we get like, I don't know, just another movie, another hero comes through, and we're like back on like, was it 813 or 183 or whatever, and then we get another universe that's on another like just all these different things. And then, like, and they still keep adding to 616 as well, but then they just literally have that, like, collide on itself. Like, what if that's a path they took?
It's possible. I could see them doing it. I think that's confusing.
It's just a lot of extra work.
Yeah, it's a lot of unnecessary work.
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know. This is all speculation, which I really...
You hate.
I hate doing. This is like a peak, in my opinion. Like, one of the titles I thought about doing, because I was trying to be very clickbaity, was like... Has Marvel peaked, or is this the beginning of the end? Because, quite frankly, like there's just, those two big things of, the plot is centered around the multiverse collapsing, and you have these basically gods,
right?
Fighting each other. I don't know where they can go.
Yeah,
Do you think a grounded story like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which in my opinion is probably the worst
like series, like show
for sure, maybe even the worst thing in Phase 4 so far.
Yeah.
Do you think there's room for like a grounded story, or are we stuck in the multiverse?
See, I don't know if they would even do one, even if there's room. I don't think so, because like here's the thing, like you could definitely tell the biggest focus with Phase 4 so far is just the lead into like the mystical magical side of things. And no, I mean, you're not going to have a grounded character, like it's not going to, not in the multiverse. You're not going to compete. Like, I don't think there would be any reason for one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's possible. And I think with your frame of thinking, that brings me to my final point, which is not everything needs to be a sequel. And this is something that I think we will talk about next week when we do an episode on Moon Knight. Moon Knight is totally self-contained from the greater MCU. Nothing that set up Moon Knight has anything to do with the MCU.
Right?
Nothing that Moon Knight did really has anything to do with the rest of the MCU. Like, it's a totally self-contained story about a cool character, and I'm all right with that. It was a great show. I loved it.
So fun to watch.
Even something like Hawkeye was built off of the MCU, but like it has no like ramifications to the multiverse like Loki did or WandaVision. Like,
I mean, it tied in, kind of tied in the Netflix series joining with Kingpin, but I mean, besides that, like no,
like it has no like
had no effect on the greater like future.
Yeah, no effect on the greater MCU.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. I don't need every movie to be a sequel to everything.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like, even I think they're getting confused. Like, one of the things we talked about was with the post-credit scenes. For Doctor Strange's post-credit scene, we see Mordo, like, going on a blood mission to take out all the wizards.
We've never heard of a single thing from him again.
It just, I don't know, I guess that was solved. Doctor Strange seems to know that Mordo is, like, wants to kill him.
Yeah, he's still kind of
last time that we saw them talk, Mordo was just like, I don't like this anymore, and like stepped away. So, I mean, even with the Doctor Strange, even with the Multiverse of Madness post-credit scene, like I do not care because I don't even know if they're gonna like follow up on that.
Right. I definitely think they will.
I definitely thought they were gonna follow up on the first Doctor Strange post-credit scene.
I did too, and then I think they realized that they were going to go in a different direction. I think that set up,
and maybe that proves our point that like
that they're just opening doors that they don't have to use.
No, that they have a problem with having to go greater. Like, they open up this multiverse, and so it's like, well, Mordo suddenly doesn't seem too bad. Like, let's create let's introduce a character who opens portals to the multiverse instead.
Yeah.
So,
which I liked how they did that with their powers, but also like I really thought there was going to be a easier way of like, I thought they were going to tie more in with like Loki maybe, and like have like how, because we saw like each branch like break off. We saw like
especially
all those
considering the fact
created, like,
that it has the same writer as Loki. I feel like some of the inconsistencies with how the multiverse in the MCU works
like explained
is a little mind-boggling. Like, I feel like he should be the one person who does know like what all the rules are.
Also, the fact Raimi didn't watch WandaVision.
Yeah. It's
that's just your homework, bro. What are you doing?
I think we need to do classic popcorn hangover fashion where we start talking about our subject and then at the end of the episode we go back into our review again. Because they're like, it's ridiculous how all this, there's the inconsistencies that they used. And just go, you reminded me, I don't know why my brain connected these wires. But with America Chavez and like, you know, she figures out how to use her powers. It was cool to see Doctor Strange like use a zombie or whatever to like come back.
That was dope.
Why was like the emotional heart of the movie like it's inside you all along? You can do it. And he has half a face and is talking like worse than Christian Bale's Batman. Like that was so ridiculous.
Yeah, because some phrases were like in a zombie voice and some were just like no.
It was that was completely obnoxious. But then on the flip side, to carry on with our trend of high highs and low lows, the music fight I forgot to mention earlier.
Dude,
So freaking cool.
it was nuts. That was just literally fun to watch. Like, what was that? The whole time I was watching it, Mickey Mouse, is it Fantasia?
Fantasia, yeah.
Just,
That's a good comparison. That's fair.
just like, dude, that was so fun to watch. That was just totally different. Like, we haven't seen something like that in a minute.
I'm gonna bring this back. I'm gonna tie this all together.
Okay.
This is why I'm a professional. So it was really cool. Like that scene was the most Doctor Strange thing like they could possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, that has never been done with Doctor Strange before because he's a comic book character and you can't have music fight each other.
Right.
And I think this is just where we tie it all together.
Okay.
This is what that specific scene is what the MCU needs to start doing. I don't need a bajillion sequels. I don't need you to go bigger. Just give me stories with characters that I love that I can't get in comic books, like that music fight. Or even another thing, like I cried during Spider-Man, not because Aunt May died, but because like there were 3 Spider-Man swinging around. Like
I cried 'cause
I've
Aunt May died.
wanted to see that all of my life.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Verse. I wanted to see all these characters slide. Just give me more of that. Go back to your roots. Go back to Iron Man and the first Avenger and heck, even the Incredible Hulk. Like just go back to these self-contained stories. And I think this is a big preview for next week because I think this might be where we go. I'm going to feel really dumb if it's not. But like I want more self-contained stories. We don't need to keep going bigger. And that's how they solve their problem.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it to the characters.
But I feel like they're going to do that. I really do. And I feel like, for example, like Shang-Chi, one of the biggest examples you could put in that, like it was it was a fun movie. I just watched it like 2 days ago too. And I forgot how like, it was good. I liked it a lot. It was pretty well self-contained. I mean, besides like having Abomination and Wong fighting, and like honestly completely forgot about that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That was totally inconsequential to anything. It didn't take up half an hour like the Illuminati scene.
Exactly. It was a fun little take. They added it in. But then also like besides having the post-credit scene there, having Captain Marvel and Banner and like having them all there, like it was pretty well self-contained. Like it was really fun. And then it kind of introduced the Power of the Rings and what else it's kind of bring with it. But
which could be in the greater MCU, but I think it's just going to be self-contained to a Shang-Chi sequel.
Really? So you don't think it'll be like his sequel will be like?
No, I don't think it's.
I feel like it's just
like I said. I think it's
like Civil War was like a
thing.
mini Avengers. Doctor Strange 2 was like a mini Avenger. Like, that was nuts. Like,
yeah, we don't need that. I'm tired. I'm tired of it.
I feel the same way. I'm hoping that's. I'm not hoping. I'm worried that's the take they're gonna take, where it's every other movie is just a.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Marvel can take my money any day.
100%. Because here's the thing, whether it sucks or not, guess who's going a total of 5 times together?
These guys.
Let's go.
You have been listening to the Popcorn Hangover podcast where we talk all things movies and TV. Today we've been discussing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Graham, this was a fun talk.
Dude, it was good. This was a good night.
Yeah. Be sure you follow us on all the things, Instagram, TikTok. Our TikTok's been struggling, so go give it some love.
Yeah,
we don't have enough followers on there. Also, check out our new Patreon page where you can have all sorts of new perks and new experiences with the Popcorn Hangover at patreon.com/thepopcornhangover. Until next time.